Welcome everybody to the Off the Mic Wrestling Show here on YouTube. I'm Mike Mayer, reacting to the go-home edition of SmackDown from Berlin, Germany. And I've got to commend WWE. One of the great ideas under this regime of Triple H and these international shows that they've done. It seems like they've been outside of North America and outside of the United States for most of the year for their premium live events. But doing these shows for Friday Night SmackDown in the same venue of the city that they're going to be in and do the premium live event the next day is a fantastic idea because it makes these shows feel like a big deal. Getting on these shows, it's not like you're throwing 15 matches on a show. So when I hear so many people complain that, hey, you know, it's 15 matches on or 5 matches on a show is too little, I was like, the reason why is you're doing effectively another premium live event on free television the night before. And this was a really, really strong show with a lot of, productive segments leading into the premium live event, the pay-per-view tomorrow. Bash in Berlin, very productive storytelling, some good matches that really made a lot of sense. And the crowd was alive this whole night, and I love that they are doing this. It's been a fantastic... WWE has been called World Wrestling Entertainment, and they've been the World Wrestling Federation for like 40 years, but they've been the WWE for a little bit more than 20. We won't get into the story of why that happened. If you want to, go look that up. But they really have not been worldwide until this year. And this Bash in Berlin show, I don't doubt it's going to be fantastic. We'll have immediate reaction on this show tomorrow after it. But doing these things as a package deal is just a fantastic idea from a business perspective, and also it makes these regular television shows feel like a bigger deal. So we start the show with LA Knight showing up with his new entrance music. I don't know how you guys feel, and maybe hit me up here in the comments how you guys feel about LA Knight's new entrance thing. I'm okay with it. My sister's not a big fan of it. I will say this. It is not Def Rebel. So a lot of people are going to be happy about that because Def Rebel has, notoriously been pretty god-awful. Outside of a couple bangers, they don't really do a good job. So LA Knight's got new entrance music. Samantha Irvin being the ring announcer. So I guess maybe they heard me on last week's show kind of lay into Alicia Taylor. By the way, happy birthday to Alicia Taylor. I found that out on the internet today. But Samantha should be doing all these big shows. She's on her way to potentially being at Lillian Garcia, Howard Finkel level of ring announcer. So LA Knight starts off with a promo. He obviously has the open challenge that was teased last week. It's been 27 years since a major televised event was in Berlin. We're obviously going to get Bash in Berlin tomorrow. So Knight said, who better to start things out than him? He issued an open challenge. He mentioned that, hey, I won my first title defense in the capital of the United States. Why not do it in the capital of Berlin? So out comes Ludwig Kaiser, which was a little bit of a surprise, but it's the right decision. I know a lot of people are not going to be thrilled. I know some people on the space that I do Down for the Count are not the biggest Ludwig Kaiser fans. I think the guy's really done a lot for himself, and he's kind of distanced himself in the last few months from being Gunther's stooge, even though LA Knight kind of classified him as Gunther's stooge. Kaiser's really good. And I think it was a really nice moment for him in his home country to come out to a crowd of that magnitude who, honestly, he was the babyface by default in this match. LA Knight was getting some boos. It's an outlier because we're in Germany. But good for Kaiser. I think it was a good opportunity. I'm willing to suspend disbelief that, hey, he's a Raw guy. Guys, the premium live events in that city, everybody's there. Gunther's there. He's obviously going to be there to support Gunther. So we can suspend this whole disbelief. Raw and SmackDown, guys, like I said, these shows are a bigger deal now, being in the same arena as the show tomorrow for Bash in Berlin. So this was a pretty decent match. Goes about 12 minutes. Kaiser got in his running drop kick into the ring steps before a break. Knight then slammed Kaiser's head off the broadcast table, rolled him back into the ring. He did a neck breaker, went to the ropes, got the fans to do his LA Knight, and he did this elbow drop that he's been doing where he leaps up to the top rope. And I don't know if this was planned, but Kaiser was way too close for LA to do the actual spot, so it was much shorter. It didn't look as great, but it was fine. But that gets a 2 count. Kaiser gets an enziguri for a near fall. Knight rallies for a power slam. Kaiser rolls up LA for a 2. And then they had a move where Kaiser has this spinning Death Valley driver that he's calling the Kaiser roll. Good wordplay there from Ludwig. Crowd is really into this, but LA stops another move. He slams Kaiser, and he gets booed, hits the BFT, and wins the match. And LA Knight retains the championship. This isn't a surprise. He's already got he's already got as many title defenses in a month that Logan Paul had in his entire near 275-day reign with the championship. So, fuck Logan Paul. Fuck Logan Paul. That's all I'll say. We show footage, and I love this too. WWE being on social media. They did this a couple of times tonight, where they show a photo of Micah Parsons trying to RKO his teammate Trayvon Diggs. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, that was really cool. WWE's hot right now, and they're getting a lot of mainstream attention. So to see WWE recognize this and put it on one of their shows, that's really cool. We get a video package hyping up Gunther versus Randy Orton for the championship at Bash in Berlin. I see a lot of people saying, "Yeah, Randy's gonna win." He's not gonna win. Watch my Bash in Berlin predictions. This is not to disrespect Randy, but I'm not going to go as far as to say this is a token opportunity. The only reason that Randy is in this match is Gunther needed a really good opponent, and they were blessed with a botch of a finish at King and Queen of the Ring where they were able to do Gunther and Randy Orton again. This was never the plan, and don't let anybody tell you that. But I'm really excited for this match. I think Randy will make it convincing. He'll sell. He'll maybe hopefully get a RKO spot in for the near fall. Randy's not winning the title. I would be stunned if Randy Orton won the championship in Berlin tomorrow over Gunther. Gunther's not having a sub-month reign as the championship. The guy held the Intercontinental title longer than anybody in the history of WWE. That record from the Honky Tonk Man stood for 30-plus years. And he obliterated it over, I think it was 666 days, although that's an unfortunate number for some other reasons. But Gunther's not losing. Just get that out of your head. Randy Orton's not winning. He'll get another championship eventually, but it's not happening tomorrow. Then we get Apollo Crews versus Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin teaming up against the newly named Los Garza, Angel Umberto of Legado del Fantasma. You know, this is good, and I'm really into kind of the mid card of SmackDown. There's not a lot of talent, and obviously we've talked about it on the channel that SmackDown feels like a level below Raw. Raw feels like the A show again, but it's given the opportunity for guys like Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin who've really not done a whole hell of a lot in recent years, and they're getting a chance to pair up together, have this fun little tag team. Corbin feels re-energized as anything. I know a lot of people are not big fans of Baron Corbin, but he's a lot of fun as a babyface. And Apollo Crews is just entertaining as hell in the ring. He may not be a great promo, but this is a good group that they have together. That being said, they ended up losing this match. There was a neat little shot at the end. Where they show some fighting going on the outside, and they pan back a little bit, and it's Santos telling Electra to get involved in the match. That leads to the finish where Corbin gets taken out, and they get a pop, and then Los Garza gets a pop-up kick on Crews to get the win, and the move apparently is called MTY, which is short for Monterey, so that's neat. 9-minute match, kind of harmless. It wasn't anything spectacular, but you know what? Good thing to get in the middle of the show, and it breezed along. There was nothing inherently terrible about it. So I think that's more than I could say for a lot of stuff that goes on AEW television. We get a Bloodline video package. I know a lot of people are out on the Bloodline, but I think it was a smart idea to just do a pre-tape here. They're not. It's kind of insane that we're going to go through a premium live event without the Bloodline on it at all. Maybe the Bloodline gets involved in that world title match, or there's an appearance after whatever happens. Based off the segment that followed this video, I have no reason to believe, because I think there's going to be something way bigger that happens on the show. But Solo, he invokes the name of Jimmy Uso. He invokes the name of Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns about taking them out. He said that he took the right to be the tribal chief. I mean, you can't really take that right, but he's the heel. So Solo then said if he did that to his own family, then imagine what he'll do to the four of you. Like, basically, this is setting up an 8-man tag that they're going to have next week with the Bloodline, which is all of them, including Tongaloa. God bless him, he's not very good. But you're going to have Jacob Fatu, Tongaloa, Tama Tonga, and Solo against DIY and the Street Profits. That should be a fun as hell match. But he says, yeah, if I'm willing to do that to my own family, imagine what I could do to the four of you. Said and then he points out, hey, regardless of who wins the championship, he's coming after the winner. So we're not done with this yet, but I think this is really setting up for Solo is Roman's going to come back and possibly screw him again. We may not even get there to Solo and Cody in a match, because I think that this stuff with Kevin Owens, and I'll talk about it in a second, I think this may not be a one-off thing. So after that, they hype up the face-to-face meeting, Cody and Kevin Owens, at the middle of the show, not at the end. I like that they didn't put this in the main event segment, and they gave the women's championship match, which was spectacular, by the way, the street fight, and they gave that the main event slot. The women deserved that. I think Nia Jax deserved that. Like I said, we'll get to that in a little bit. The first ever women's speed tournament is going to start on Wednesday. A lot of people snicker at what's the point of speed. Guys, a lot of people are on Twitter, on X. Speed is a great idea. Short, digestible matches, and these championships, yeah, they may not appear on main roster television, but it's its own thing, and it's doing really well, and these matches are performing really well on social media. It's a great idea. So before you snicker at that, I think it's a great opportunity for the women and some women who are not utilized a lot on main roster television to get a chance to perform and do these things. And these are filmed right ahead of, typically right ahead of SmackDown, as like dark matches, and they air a little bit down the line. So it's fine. SmackDown will be on USA. Next week will be the last SmackDown on Fox. It's been a good era, but I am looking forward to seeing this show get the hell off of Fox, because a lot of the blurring and stuff has been an issue. So going to USA will be interesting moving forward. I would expect Roman Reigns to be back for that first show on USA. I think he was initially announced, but now it was pulled back. I would expect it to be a really big show in 2 weeks' time. I think that show's in Seattle. So I would have to check with one of my buddies up there in Seattle. Brian, if you're watching, love you, man. And hope you get a chance to go see that, because if you want to go see Bryan Danielson's potential last match, that's going to probably be up in the Washington area in, I think, October at Wrestle Dream. So then we get to Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes face-to-face. We get Nick Aldis in the ring. Nice ovation for Nick. He plays to the crowd. He plugs the Bash in Berlin and the European tour. Michael Cole narrates the whole tour. Then Aldis, he hypes up, brings out both guys, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, for this big-time promo, which honestly I think was the best thing on this show. This was really good to set up everything. Michael Cole hyped up a couple of interesting things. Michael Cole made a joke about Adam Pearce. Hey, it's nice to be on a show with a competent GM. And Nick's always in control, so that was a shot at Adam Pearce. That was pretty funny. Crazy fact that I didn't even think about leading into this match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. Kevin Owens literally just passed the 8-year anniversary of when he won the Universal title in that Fatal 4-Way match. Big Cass was in that match. Seth Rollins was in that match. Roman Reigns was in that match. And if you remember, and Kevin will reference this in the promo, I'll run through it in a second, Triple H was the deciding factor in that match. It was the big moment where Seth Rollins started his babyface turn, which was kind of botched, if we're being honest. But also, the other interesting point here, Kevin Owens has not held a singles championship, not a world title, a singles championship in 7 years. 7 years. Think about all the world championship matches that this guy has had. Think about all the opportunities that he's had. And he has managed to stay relevant and stay over with the crowd. He had an opportunity to potentially bail for AEW a couple years ago. There's rumors he might do it again. Again, watch that video on the channel. I can tell you why. I just don't think there's any reason Kevin would leave. But 7 years without a championship, and he is still over and popular with the crowd. That was wild for me to hear that stat. That was hard for me to believe. Cody Rhodes comes out after Kevin Owens' entrance. He's always dressed to the nine. He's always really well dressed. And the second social media clip, this got the rounds. at the Arkansas Pine Bluff game on ESPN, they showed the marching band playing Kingdom, Cody's entrance music. And so Cody obviously had the whole gif where he's like, you zoom in on him hearing out people. And so obviously that got the attention of WWE. It shows you how mainstream that Cody Rhodes has become as the WWE champion. Some people want to say that this title reign has kind of been a letdown. He's had 2 bangers with AJ Styles. He had a really good match with Logan Paul. The solo matches were fine. They were good storyline bits. I think we got so spoiled with Roman Reigns. I mean, not even spoiled. I think we got bored of Roman holding the title for so long that we wanted to see a fighting champion. And just because, it's been kind of there doesn't mean that it hasn't been good. Those AJ Styles matches were great. This Kevin Owens match and this feud has been really good. Even the solo stuff was really well built, and they did a really good job of making those matches feel important. And I don't have any doubt that when we get past this Kevin Owens thing, that Cody's going to still be a really good champion for the rest of the year. I think a lot of people are just saying, oh, we just had a champion who held it for 1,300 days, but basically defended it like 3 times a year. We're expecting Cody to do all this stuff. Just because that's not the case, and that's not the perception, or that's not the reality that you got, doesn't mean that it's a bad title reign. So, all right, anyway, getting to this promo, this was awesome. So Cody spoke about the WWE Championship and how they would face off in front of a sold-out crowd in Berlin. Kevin, before all of this he said, yeah, Cody, what do you want to talk about? And it was funny. So Owens asked Cody if he wanted to talk about what happened to his knee on the European tour. Cody said his knee was fine and nothing happened. Cody said he wanted to talk about what happened last week, recalled them teaming up with against Waller and Theory, but he said it was great. But what happened after the match left him with pause. He pointed out it seemed like Cody was going to hit him in the back if he didn't turn around, and he handed him his title. It looked like he might have clocked him in the back with the belt, teasing the heel turn, which has been the really intriguing part of this feud. Cody said he wasn't accusing Owens, but he had to ask given the track record of Kevin Owens. Owens said the video that was showed last week by Waller and Theory showed all the people that he turned on and had coming, and he again apologized to Kofi Kingston. I think it's interesting that he didn't apologize to Sami Zayn, his real-life best friend, but that's neither here nor there. Kevin brought up his relationship he had with Cody's father in the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, asked why Cody thinks he would do that to him. Cody said maybe Owens was a little angry with him when he went out into the world in 2015 and 2016 and visited a lot of rooms that Owens walked into himself. Cody said he feels like Owens doesn't get enough credit, whereas perhaps he gets too much for the Renaissance. So, like, I thought that the fact that they went there with Cody's independent track record and what happened with AEW without saying it, I didn't expect them to go there. But he's right. Kevin Owens doesn't get nearly enough credit for this boom period. He was in WWE during some of the darkest times, and he never bailed on the company, which is very commendable. Owens said he didn't want to do that to Cody, but he once again asked about his knee. Said he wasn't getting text messages from people on tour who said Cody was limping badly and was in the trainer's room for an hour. Cody asked if Owens still thinks he's unworthy. Owens questioned why Cody didn't take a knee during his entrance like he always does. It's sneaky good storytelling from Kevin. Kevin's just so good at what he does. Owens then pointed out, like I said, it's been 8 years ago yesterday that he won the Universal title. He said people told him he didn't deserve it, and he only got it because of Triple H. Owens said he's still bitter about that. Kevin then asked what would happen when he beats Rhodes at Bash in Berlin. Cody took exception to Owens saying when, and Cody said his knee is 100%. Cody said he'd be angry too because the day after Owens worked with Stone Cold Steve Austin, he had to share the spotlight with Cody because that was Cody's big return at WrestleMania 38. Cody said Kevin is one of his true friends in the business and questioned whether they would still be friends after Bash in Berlin. He actually said something really powerful. He said, "I love you, dude." So a lot of this was just really good. So he asked if they'd still be friends after Bash in Berlin. Owens tossed down the mic, said something to Cody in his ear before leaving the ring. So we don't know what he said, but man, this gives the vibe Kevin's turning. And initially I said in the Bash in Berlin video that I thought Gunther and Randy Orton might main event this show. Based off the fact that I think Gunther and Randy is entirely predictable, there's a really good chance that Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes gets the main event slot at Bash in Berlin tomorrow. This is just for a simple build, and I said it on at OT Mike Wrestling on Twitter. This has been one of the most logical builds to a heel turn that I have seen in wrestling in a very long time. Kevin has resisted the urge. He has explained himself like that he's a changed guy. You want to believe him. Then you keep planting the seeds that he might do it. He might not do it. The unpredictability of this feud has been really well done, and it's a testament to Kevin and the level of performer that he is, and also Cody. Again, I don't understand why people think that this has been a bad WWE title reign. This has been a really good WWE title reign. So this was an awesome segment. My favorite thing on this show. Cody is going to win tomorrow. Make no mistake about that. So that part of it's predictable. What happens after the match, and if Cody and Kevin are still friends and Kevin turns or not, or if they continue this thing out, I think Kevin is going to turn. But I'm really looking forward to this. They've done a fantastic job for a build to a match that was kind of thrown together in the span of 2 to 3 weeks for a show literally just a few weeks after SummerSlam. This has been really well executed by WWE. Backstage segment between Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin talking about their loss. They get confronted by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Waller said Theory was just saying that Crews and Corbin are not half the team that they are. Corbin takes offense. Theory confirmed saying it, and Crews pulled Baron away. Theory gets upset with Waller for repeating what he said, and Theory said he thinks they are falling apart. And Waller just said, yeah, you know, this is just a banter. This is what we do in Australia. And Waller said Theory is his best mate and apologized. Theory accepted this. I know this has been taking a minute to get to this point, but we're starting to see the fractures really come into fruition for this Waller-Theory breakup. They're a good team together. I'm really interested what babyface Austin Theory is. Because if you watched NXT, Black and Gold, during the pandemic, when Austin Theory was a part of the Way, that was the most entertaining version of Austin Theory. And I'm surprised that they haven't gone there. They had the selfie version of him, and then he was a very generic heel for a large chunk of his run on the main roster. I'm curious to see what babyface Austin Theory looks like on the main roster, because that's where this is going. Waller's going to stay heel. It's a shame that they're going to break up a tag team, but honestly, I think this is a good opportunity to see if they can go somewhere with Austin Theory, who's still incredibly young and very talented. It's just they got to give him some semblance of an actual character, which he hasn't had since that time that he had in NXT. He was really entertaining there. So then we get another banger from Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. It's match 4 in this series. This has literally been taking the last 2 months of television. And WWE has done such an unbelievable job of making each one of these matches unique in their own way. It feels like a match on a premium live event, even though it's happening on the mid-card of SmackDown. These matches feel like a big deal. And this is why having 5-match premium live events are not really big shows. You are able to give time to these matches on a SmackDown or a Raw, which is not a death sentence anymore. Being on television means something. Making it on a premium live event, yeah, that's an exclusive spot too. But these shows, Raw and SmackDown, feel really exclusive, and you get some of these pay-per-view premium live event quality matches. And again, Carmelo and Andrade fucking killed it. So Andrade gets a corkscrew dive early on in the match. Andrade draped Hayes over the middle rope and hit him with a top rope double stomp on the apron, which looked rough. Carmelo Hayes hits his first 48 and is able to get on the offensive. Andrade came back with a one-handed powerbomb, gets it too. He goes to the corner but gets distracted for a moment because he noticed Hayes had pulled off the turnbuckle pad. That plays a role later in this match. Hayes uses that distraction to connect with a super kick for a 2. Andrade caught Hayes again on the middle ropes, joined him, and executed that reverse springboard Spanish fly that they've done so well. They did that in the Money in the Bank match. They've done that a couple times in this feud, so that was a neat little callback. So we get back for this got a couple segments, which was a big-time deal. Andrade stands on the top rope over Hayes. Who Andrade also gets my favorite move in wrestling again, spinning back elbow, which is great. He had the double moonsault as well. I mean, like I said, I'm doing the cliff notes. Shout out Jason Powell and his site for helping me with the notes. It's really helped me watch these shows, so I appreciate the notes. Go check him out. I think it's prowrestling.net is the site. Really simplified notes that can really help you kind of like, do these type of recaps. So Wade Barrett spoke about how the wrestlers were beating the hell out of each other and said the fans were sickos for loving it. Booking for the sickos. That's a shot at Tony Khan if I ever heard one. Andrade stands on the top rope over Hayes, who was seated on the top turnbuckle. Hayes slipped under Andrade and tripped him so that his head hit the exposed turnbuckle. Andrade gets to the ground. Carmelo goes up top, hits nothing but net for the win. And we are tied at 2 apiece in the Carmelo versus Andrade. We're going 7, guys. And Carmelo's got a basketball-themed gimmick, being him. I hope these two fight forever. This has just been a breath of fresh air. Because to execute a 4-match series like this, with each match feeling not inherently different and this not feeling stale, is really hard to do in modern professional wrestling when people get bored and when people don't want to see rematches. But these guys have gone out there and ran with the opportunity that's been given. Even though these guys are losing and they're tied at 2 apiece, both of them have gotten over. This is as relevant as Andrade has felt in a long time. Carmelo Hayes is obviously a rising star in the business. He's been fantastic ever since he got to the main roster from NXT. I love everything about this. I hope that the 7th match that happens will happen on a premium live event, because those guys have earned a spot, whether it be Bad Blood or somewhere else down the road. I hope these guys, you can do 6 of these matches and then have the most important one be at a premium live event. I think Sheamus and Cesaro, before they formed the Bar, did something similar, and then the 7th match was on pay-per-view. So I hope that they go that route with these two, because this has just been, like I said, almost 14 minutes of just fucking entertainment at its highest form. So then main event, we're getting towards that. And I guess we're having a 2-hour pre-show tomorrow and a post-show. They're hyping up the interview between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, where some more inflammatory stuff. Also, Randy Orton is going to have an interview on that show. There's a reason to tune into these kickoff shows. It's not just a bunch of thrown together matches that don't matter. So we get a sponsored video package that was really well produced with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. They were interviewed separately, but they were shown finishing each other's sentences. This was a nice piece of production. And they also spoke about going for the women's tag titles at Bash in Berlin. Go ahead, watch that preview on the channel. I think Jade and Bianca are going to win. They should be the tag team champions. It's been a nice little story with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn being the champions, but I think they've stretched this to the end of the rope, and I think doing it and giving them the titles back on another international show is kind of ironic, but I think it's almost kind of fitting. And these women deserve an opportunity to be on a premium live event. You could have done this on SmackDown, but I'm glad that they're giving that one of the 5 match slots at Bash in Berlin tomorrow. So Nia gets her entrance, and Michin. I love me some Michin, man, and I love that she got this opportunity to be in the main event, the last real match before a premium live event, going home to the show tomorrow. So she has a kendo stick. She rolls a cart out there. She walks out to the ring. She said she does that's the whole follow the traditional, like, it seems like it's like commonplace in WWE to have in the main event somebody walk out, camera follows them, and they cut a promo. So Michin said you can like her or hate her, but you won't forget her once she wins the title. Let's face it, she wasn't going to win the title, but you know what? Hey, it's a fun little spot. So she has the shopping cart with a bunch of weapons. And again, this is a street fight for the women's championship. So listen, this was a lot of fun. Michin gets a fire extinguisher spot on Nia Jax, gets a missile drop kick, goes for a tornado DDT, but Nia Jax blocks it, slams Michin onto a trash can, which looked rough. Michin battered Jax with a bunch of trash can lids, and then she does the tornado DDT on a trash can lid. That gets a near fall. Michin sets up the table. There was another table in the ring on the corner which played a role in this match. Michin went to the floor, tossed a trash can into the ring, set up a table. Cole said that Michin was taking way too much time. Baby faces, I swear to God, when they try to please the crowd, it always leads to bad things. Nia then hits Michin from behind and slammed a chair over her back. Nia gets Michin on a table, went to the ropes, but Michin got up, hit her from behind, and power bombs her through a table. Oh my God. Women manhandling Nia. Like, we saw Bayley walk to the middle of the ring at SummerSlam with Nia. Like, it's a credit to Nia for taking these bumps. And by the way, Nia, like, landed high on her neck. It almost looked like, and the sell of that was really good. Like, that was a huge pop from the crowd. After that happens, Tiffany Stratton runs out. Place goes nuts. She's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. She enters the ring, works over Michin with the briefcase. Stratton looked at the referee, nodded, but then looked and saw Jax was looking at her, thought the better of it. Stratton tried to help Nia Jax win, put Nia into the cover. Michin kicks out. Out comes the returning Bayley, who we haven't seen since SummerSlam. Bayley gets Stratton, dumps her over the barricade. The fans are singing her, "Hey Bayley, I want to know if you'll be my girl," which was a little bit distracting. So gets rid of Bayley gets rid of Tiffany. Jax roughs up Michin after Bayley and Stratton were out of the picture. Jax places a trash can over Nia. Nia actually put Michin through a table in the midst of all of this. And then she places a trash can lid over Michin and hits the Annihilator for the win. This was awesome. A quintessential great street fight. Michin killed it in her spot, even though you knew she had no hope in hell of winning. And I have got to say this, and it's not going to be a popular opinion, because I know how a lot of people in the wrestling community feel about Nia Jax and some of her beliefs and how she was portrayed and how she performed in her first run at WWE. But from the minute she got back nearly a year ago, which was not a popular decision, mind you, this woman has become one of the best parts of this women's division. And you can argue that with me all you want, but you are wrong. Because this was another fantastic match. The match that she had with Bayley at SummerSlam. She had a great match with Lyra Valkyria at King and Queen of the Ring to win the Queen of the Ring. She had a great feud with Bayley with Becky Lynch. She had a great match in the main event of Elimination Chamber against Rhea fucking Ripley. Rhea Bloody Ripley, whatever you want to call it. This woman has been given so many opportunities to run with it. And I have got to commend Triple H for, sticking to his guns and telling us, hey, trust me, I know what I'm doing with Nia Jax. She's good. And no matter what you believe or how you feel about her, this has inarguably been one of the best parts of this women's division in the last calendar year. She earned this women's championship. This was an awesome start to her reign. I hope she holds the title for a decent run. Tiffany Stratton's obviously going to play a role in this. You've got another queen that is a few months away from coming back. Hint, her father's very famous. Does the woo? Charlotte Flair could come back at some point. There's a lot of meat on the bone here for Nia Jax as women's champion. And she earned this opportunity. She ran with it. I give a ton of credit for Michin going in there and doing her thing, even though she had no hope in hell of winning. I'm glad she got the showcase spot. But again, if you want to argue with me about Nia Jax, this woman has been fucking awesome since she came back to this company a year ago. And I never thought in a million years that I would ever utter those words in my life. So this was a fantastic show. And SmackDown has been really good post SummerSlam. No Roman Reigns there. It helped that the crowd was great. All the matches and the segments really delivered on the show. You had an awesome Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens feud builder to their main event, assuming it's a main event match at Bash in Berlin. You've got Andrade and Carmelo literally fighting forever, and then this main event match between Nia Jax and Michin. This was awesome. Thanks for tuning into this. We'll have immediate reaction to Bash in Berlin tomorrow. Get up early if you're on the West Coast. I'm on the West Coast. 10 a.m. Pacific. This show starts. If you're on the East Coast, God bless you. You get to sleep in a little bit and watch it at 1 p.m. But I love these international shows because they're earlier in the day and you don't have to wait until the end of the day. So enjoy Bash in Berlin. We'll have an NXT No Mercy preview later this weekend. Some interesting stuff happening in TNA that I got to talk about as well that might feed into that. So hit that subscribe button here on the YouTube channel at OT Mike Wrestling. Follow on Twitter X at OT Mike Wrestling. Follow me at Off the Bike 28. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Big weekend for WWE. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.